week. Hello, hello. Lee here. How's everybody doing? Just want to do a video today about honesty and brutal honesty and just being open with yourself and the best ways, the fastest ways, quickest ways, the most redeeming ways, and the most fulfilling ways to excel yourself and grow as a person, as a soul evolution, evolve as a being, is obviously to be just extremely honest with yourself and to, I guess, embark on the quest of looking at yourself in such an authentic way and saying, yes, I see that, I am that, I don't like this thing and I do like that, and I want to aspire more towards that good and let go of that. But not in a way of denial. I guess I'm just jumping right into the video just to get into the topic, but excuse me. I feel it's so important just to have that authentic, brutal honesty with yourself and with others as well. And you know, we can be polite, and there's a way of being courteous and not rude. Some people are honest without tact, or upfront without sensitivity. So there's always a room for that, and we shouldn't, you know, be a certain way. Or I personally certainly wouldn't recommend to be rude to somebody or so upfront in the sense of like just, you know, crushing somebody or having it done to you. I mean, sometimes maybe we need that wake up call, but best, you know, to be done with tact and poise and some manner of diplomacy. And I find that just recently in my life I've gone through some good changes, some very brutal and hard things, as many of you are experiencing as well. And you know, sometimes it really is good to go through these things to change for the better, hopefully for the better, and not too much the worse. Sometimes I guess we don't see certain things coming until they happen, although, you know, part of us knows something is bound to occur or is best for us. Maybe we live in denial for a bit, or you know, certain things, like we're on the fence about certain things. But I guess I don't want to stray too much and go on too many semantical, is that a word, semantical? Yeah, why not? Subtopics, but the fact is, extreme honesty with yourself and others is the best thing to do. Often in certain religious traditions, the devil was called the father of lies, and the mother of lies for that matter, the entity of lies. And we all have that in us. It's not to blame that person. The light and the dark is within us to garner, to work with, to put it that way. And when we align with maybe deceit, or, you know, being deceptive, or to ourselves as well as to others, then we're not doing anybody any favors. And obviously the best thing to do, you know, if you're a person like me and you strive and you try to be aligned with the light and be a good person and improve, and being aware of your faults and flaws, and, you know, gently nurturing yourself, say and not being too hard on yourself for them, but, you know, working with them. But to be very well aware that, you know, we are self-responsible for a lot of things, and in other cases we are products and sum totals of experiences that have happened to us. And yeah, I mean, interactions with others, with life, with circumstance, helps or doesn't help to build us, or to attribute, to make us to who we are. But in the end, when we really look inside in a deep internal fashion, we know that we are each very much responsible for ourselves, and we also know what we are really truly looking for and what we really truly are, even if it seems cloudy. Because when we focus upon the life, and sometimes you can't help it, I understand that very well, all too much, but when we have these bombardments of life things happening to us, and situations and distractions. I mean, a lot of us go from work to relief, like, okay, do your daily life, and then, oh, no, just chill out with my shows or video games, or indulge in my, you know, and hobbies, and all that's very cool, and then obviously we need those things. It's not even about escapism, it's trying to find some kind of balance. But a lot of the times when we're in that mode, we are somewhere like the fine line, or in between the before and the after, and then the middle somewhere in the fine line, read between the lines. We're waiting for something to prompt us to change. That's good to wait for that, sure, but also we can ask ourselves what we ourselves are looking for. And so when I'm coming back to being brutally honest, is that I'm suggesting very strongly that all of us does indeed possess the ability to really know clearly and quickly what is best, and what we like about a certain thing or don't like about a certain thing, like about ourselves or don't like, or about someone else, likes and don't likes. And honesty is such a beautiful way, such a quick way to cut to the chase, get to the point. I'm finding this is such a good policy to live by, so to say, with out in life in general, with family and friends, with work, with relationships, with any random happenstance, wherever it may be. It's such a good thing, and sometimes it could be, maybe painful or seemingly like, very, abrupt or right away. But once that immediacy is gone, it's the after effect that's so perfect and beautiful and appreciated. And just to have that openness of self. First of all, is to have that self-acceptance. One of the first teachings of Buddhism is to say, for example, follow many schools of thought, but is to say, first of all, forgive yourself for not being perfect. I mean, innately and ultimately we all are. But in the moment, in your facade of playing out a certain human being, a role, male, female, this, that, whatever country, in that modality that we're in, it is a changing thing. We're in flux. And to know that, and the ultimate self, to be honest with the total self, is just to accept yourself where you are, and then to grow and to move with that. Hopefully without hanging on too strongly to certain things. I am a person that can have a very difficult time finding that now. I mean, my mind can say, yes, the now, the ultimate is the awareness of this and that, and ultimately the eternal is safe, it's good, God is good, the universe, whatever, the Buddha mind, whatever. That is in perfection in the now. And I am going through changes. And I can have a very hard time living in the now in my day-to-day life, because I'm a kind of person that lives very much in the future and very much in the past, like dragging the wounds from the past, and then hoping for the future. When that happens, I hope that happens. And then having like a tug of war, living in two places, and I'm not in the now. So I gotta ask myself, and I'm challenging you, I challenge thee to a duel. No, but I'm suggesting, I'm recommending that you find yourself, your temporal self, in the now and say, what is it that I want or that I need to change or that I need to do? And if I'm extremely upfront, and if I brush away and clean the surface and blow away the dust or whatever, however you want to put it, or flick the light on, then I have a naked look at myself and say, so do that for yourself and say, what do I want? What am I looking for? What do I need to do? Because if I'm looking for happiness, and all of us are looking for that measure of peace, it's impossible maybe to have perfect happiness. Maybe some people find it. Sure they do. Yeah. And if we're looking for that, then what is the obstacle in the way? And the best way to get from A to B, or to get to those places, or to attain those things, is extreme honesty. And even while, because I'm a kind of person, talking about honesty, I'll be honest, I can procrastinate. I can say, I'll do that later. I have that bill to pay off. Screw those guys, I'll do it when I feel like it. Whether I have the money or not, I'm just that kind of person. Whatever, do it later. Could do those kind of things. Sometimes I'm immediate and immaculate about things, or meticulous about things. But sometimes I'm just lazy or sloppy about it. Or it could be about having a confrontation with somebody that's, an issue that needs to be addressed, or something that needs to be discussed. And I'll put it off. But the more I find that I don't do that, and I'm more quick to cut to the chase and bring something up, the relief, the joy, the alleviation from waiting. It's not even about deceit, but sometimes we do deceive ourselves and we deceive others. Sometimes not even intentionally, inadvertently we do it. But sometimes it's something about deceit. It's that suspense, that pause. So I'm trying to get over that for myself, and I'm not sure where you are in your way. Some of you are extremely brutally honest. Some of you are very shy introverts, and we're all a mixture of things. We all need each other to learn from each other, maybe to become better in finding the middle ground, a bit of this, a bit of that. And I find it's just been so peaceful and beautiful lately just to be so upfront and honest and just blurt something out. Because you're not going to regret that. We look back and say, oh, I said that and that was kind of maybe harsh, but it's over with now. To another person or to yourself. It's over with now. I've confronted that. I've been honest. I've stopped living in a lie, or I've stopped living in limbo. Which is worse? What do you guys think? To live in limbo or to live in a lie? Because both are a death of a kind, right? So to stop honing in and staying on a certain place and just get through it and be honest. And sometimes it's only after the fact. Like we have a lot of karmic relationships with people, or with our job placements, or with life in general, with family, with relationships, with wherever. And oftentimes it's after the fact we go, oh yeah, I went through that. I guess I needed it. I guess that person or persons needed it as well, because we are a part of other people's dreams as well. It's not about self. We are always trying to, if we're going to be developing souls, we're always trying to realize and time again remember, everybody is just as equally important. We're all innately perfect, and we're all absolutely equally important, and to always remember that. So to always say to yourself, well, it's not even about myself this time, maybe it's about that person, and to remind yourself of that. So, but to go through these things, and that's a good question, again, to come back to it, living in a lie or living in limbo, and to say to yourself, wow, which is a worse death? I don't want to live those painful things or go through that trial, and just, I want to release it. Let the negativity go, like they say, you inhale the good and exhale the bad, and to do that, and to transfer that to many aspects of our life. And honesty, first and foremost, we have to be honest with ourselves. And if something is not helping you out, or not being for your greater good, and I mean, there's such a thing as suffering and long suffering for others or for a situation, but also it's has to be coming down to, oh well, is this doing any good? And we have to be honest about it with ourselves and with others. And that feeling of freedom, that exhalation of like they say, how does that go? The sigh of relief, or the waiting to exhale moment, or something like that. And for all of us to have that and possess that honesty, because a lot of us are very, and sometimes this happens too, a lot of us are very good with others, but we're hard on ourselves. I'm often like that myself, very harsh judge of myself, or good at being what I think, being very honest with everybody, and then lying to myself about certain things. So it's just to remove those obstacles, and to find that honesty, and to have that freedom in it, because it feels so good. And even just to do it with small baby steps, even before going out in the wide world and practicing it with everybody, but to do it to yourself, even just small things. Even just today, I challenge you just to go in the mirror, or wherever you're, or right now, or after the video, if you feel like it, and if not, whatever. But if you feel up to it, find one little thing about yourself that you think you might have been lying to yourself about, or you haven't been fully honest, and have a dialogue about it. And if you need to talk to someone else, talk to somebody else. But if it's just with yourself, have a dialogue, or an internal monologue, or whatever, dialectics or whatever, and just, yeah. And by honing in on it, and then saying, okay, well, now that I'm really fully aware of that, and it's so clear, what do I want to do about that? And even that small thing could be a big thing if you're up for it, but even that little thing can do so much good. And just bathing it in light and truth, and seeing something for what it is, and going forward, and going into the truth. Your truth, my truth. No. Truth itself is not dualistic. There's things that could be true for us and true for others, and there's layers of illusions and different things, but yeah, there's always going to be that, but truth is still truth, and that's meaning the removal of falsity, or a bad conception about something, or a false identity about something, or a masking of it. We're trying to shape something for what it's not, and go into the truth itself. No duality, just going down to it. It feels so good. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, and recommend to everybody else for kind honesty. And do it obviously with kindness as much as we can, to yourself and to others. Kind honesty, and see where it gets you. Oftentimes it feels really good. So, just putting that out there. Namaste and well wishing for everybody. I honestly, truthfully wish you the very best in your soul journey, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Take care, my friends.